Aw, yeah. We are ready. We are getting ready to come back for game number 3, OMG versus StarHorn Royal Club. Guys, watching the LPL playoffs, is OMG struggling in their current state to manage much of anything against the surging StarHorn. Froskurinn, what do they need to do to avoid being 3-0'd here?
I feel like we're going to see the Jarvan pickup come out from Drug. I don't think he's going to continue along this path with the current junglers, because I feel like a lot of the issue is definitely the bot lane, but also lackluster jungle presence from him. See if they can turn that around. That's my predictions, but I feel like the stars are aligning for LGD to attend Worlds.
The hope is not dead yet, and we will have to see this next game. Uzii rightly picking up the MVP on that Tristana. Most definitely had a massive impact that game. But how about Insect's Nocturne?
You know, for seeing the Nocturne, I definitely think that rightfully so the MVP was Tristana and Korn, Korn's Orianna, but you know, Insect was there, Nocturne was there.
He made things happen.
Things happen.
Although when he tried to make things happen to going, he kind of ran scared the other direction. Like this is a guy that even in defeat can incite quite a lot of fear in the enemy team.
And unfortunately, that's kind of been Going's MO. I feel like as far as the one strongest point for OMG going for them has been their top laner. I didn't even mean.
Well, you know, sometimes they just slip out like that.
Sometimes they just slip away like playoff dreams.
Oh
that
god,
said,
oh man, that was a low blow.
If OMG fall here, so if StarHorn finds the 3-0, it is a double elimination tournament. So OMG would just fall down into the losers bracket. LGD has already been placed there by EDG. So there is still hope if they don't find their footing here.
Yeah, and I would find it hard to argue that OMG would still be unfavored against the likes of LGD, but yeah, that's not where you want to be though. You have to fight your way back through the gauntlet of anyone who does drop down, and then of course when you do finally make it to the finals, it's a one-game disadvantage. But we'll see if they can keep their hopes alive in the winner's bracket. OMG this time on the blue side, banning away the Yasuo, immediately answered up by Lulu. Same picks and bans we've seen all series.
See if they continue to focus at this mid laner, because they haven't found a lot of success there, or maybe prioritizing first picking that Orianna. Of course, Korn back-to-back on the Orianna picks, coming up huge, showing his mastery of that champion. It's, you know, if we keep taking Yasuo, Fizz, these mid picks away, and this guy is continuing to skyrocket, maybe they'll switch up their strategy.
Yeah, the Fizz is definitely a respect ban to Korn, but it has been difficult to deal with him on just about anything. I think they might want to try and focus on picking up the Orianna away from the StarHorn side this time, as they really heavily weigh the impact of their last ban.
I agree with that. I definitely think that we'll see this removed or picked away.
We will ban the Fizz again. Still scared.
Insect. I'm looking at Uzii talking Zero. Reflecting, leaning back.
Ah, there we go. So yeah, we had to expect this. It's not an option when it's been so huge in every single fight. Now they do miss out a few things. To be honest, I don't know if it really matters what you put data on, so the Thresh priority may not be there, although StarHorn might want to get themselves a bit of Kog'Maw action.
Now, of course, Kog'Maw coming in is a flex pick. Korn could take that mid, or we could see Uzii on it.
And they do once again. Prioritize the support. Braum is available, and they're really having a hard time deciding which one they want. I think it will be the Braum. Ah, that's an interesting choice. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Last minute swap over to Sona. Okay.
Only one other Sona so far in LPL, and it was PYL Sona.
And that's
Sona
like
player.
his old main, too.
Big Sona player, so very excited to see what Zero can do with this champion.
I don't believe he's played it, at all in a long time.
It's the only Sona to show up so far has been PYL.
In this particular set of games, and I don't think that will be the first Gangplank. There we go, there's the going lock-in for Aurelia.
Still kind of rolling the dice for this Jarvan. Come on, Jarvan. Wanting to see the enemy jungler pick. I think he learned that I can't pick a weak jungler if Insect's going to invade me.
Ah, Korn on Ziggs. Now this could be interesting. That is something else that he has gone back to. Time and time again.
Very much Orianna-esque. everything that Ziggs is going to offer to a team fight. Gives a little bit more semi-global presence, a little bit more wave control. Obviously trades that off for the team fight power of the Shockwave, but you know, Ziggs still very strong team fight in his own regard.
Well, they've spent so much trying to ban him out, too. I mean, the Yasuo and Fizz are directly targeted at him now. Wow, we're going to see the reversal of Nocturne. Drug says, hey, I can play that, too. And we see the OMG lineup taking form here. This is interesting.
See what Insec picks across from the Nocturne.
Keeping my fingers crossed for Shaco.
You want the Shaco pick?
I just want to see how it ends up in a playoff game. I don't know if he will take that, especially not with Lee Sin on the table. So that's kind of the no-brainer, and they don't even need to think about it. Locking it in will complete the lineup. And yeah, this is... I feel like this is going to be a very different game already.
This creates a lot of vulnerability for the jungler, though, if we expect this to go the route of Game 1. See how OMG handles that and how they address it. Poke lane, though, from the Sona Kog'Maw bottom. Pretty devastating. We'll see if OMG look for the lane swap. Try to put the Jax on the back foot again.
I mean, they tried that last game, and it worked out okay for them in the early. Like, they definitely had trouble in that game 1, but it was more due to losing their jungle pressure early. It's kind of hard to find answers. They've tried a lot of different things. You can see the frustration on their faces.
Playing from the back foot, having the momentum there. I mean, you said it all right there. You can see that this is going to be an issue, but we'll see if they're able to turn it around. High pressure game.
This is the clutch moment for OMG if they can answer back and get themselves one win. That will definitely be a big confidence booster and force the extension of the series. But if StarHorn wins this one, it will be all over 3-0, and they move on to the next round. We'll have to see, though. OMG, you know, even in their current state, have displayed some glimmers of brilliance. They just have to latch onto that. And they have to not let Dota 7 get caught. That has been their biggest liability throughout the entire series.
I feel like they need to also prioritize more strength to going. I think he's been the solid rock for them consistently throughout the series. So we'll see if maybe the attention is turned towards that top lane and trying to get him rolling over his lane opponent.
Yep, and here we are on the Summoner's Rift for potentially the last time this morning. It is going to be this time Drug on that Nocturne as we get started into this game. Line of scrimmage again. Been so very prevalent to just try and feel your opponents out rather than going for a very hasty invade.
Okay, so I like this. They're not looking for the lane swap, so they're going to give going the 1v1. Now, obviously, against the Jax, I think they're just making the statement that going himself can put Jax on the back foot, that we don't need to mismatch his lane matchup.
I think that's probably a fair statement, like Equilibrium Strike, level 1, as well as Counter Strike.
Because you have to think, every time they lane swapped it effectively, they were also putting their Aurelia behind.
Yeah, this is exactly what you said. They need to emphasize the power that Going is able to do. Now, Son, he's sitting on a ward right now, and Uzi just playing with him a little bit.
The mind games.
The mind games are real. Oh no, Son! He thought he was safe, but nowhere is safe from Uzi and Zero. Takes the Valk and moves away.
Not the end of the world. Didn't blow Summoner right there, so good patience from Son, but pretty cheeky move from Uzi.
Yeah, that is going to be a little bit more of a mind game, get inside your head kind of maneuver as see Insect going for his red buff early. Now, does this indicate, again, he's going to focus out that bot as soon as he completes his jungle route? I think he's going to want to in this 2v2, help snowball as much as possible.
Well, that's been the pretty much the calling card is gank Zero.
Yeah, definitely been what's working for them in the standard situation. I think OMG has to keep their cool, and it all goes back to the man with that in his name. He's trying to get a little bit of his farm on, but he's up against the Ziggs, so we'll have to see how that one goes. That's not an easy lane to gank for either way. I think this time Drug has to mix it up and maybe try to help out the bot a bit, or maybe snowball the top.
Orianna did get nerfed in 4.14. Her attack damage actually got nerfed. Typically, what Oriannas do early in the lane phase is they'll take E first, their shield, and they'll walk in, shield themselves, and just start laying down those auto attacks. Ooh, close hook from Dada.
Yeah, only needs one. Yeah, we didn't mention that as much, too. He is on Thresh this time, and this has been the one champion he has found success with. Now going a little bit of trouble with the counter-strike, but he's still able to get back in. And Aurelia, a very dangerous champion to be lower health than you.
It's all about just playing with those cooldown timings, and we saw this matchup late game last time.
He is going to get Uzi on a line, but he's pretty low here, and, well, this is new Sona, but she's still very much going to be able to spam those heals, and that's difficult, a sustain lane to deal with.
The sustained poke lane, the best of both worlds.
Very much the case. Also, Dada going for the Relic Shield start means he has to get in there. He has to be able to poke down some of those minions himself, getting himself in inherent danger.
That said, this does expose StarHorn Royal Club's bottom lane up to the presence of Nocturne. Of course, they're allowed to make this early game pressure because, again, it's a Nocturne pre-level 6 gank. But if this continues and they don't change up their strategy, we'll see if Drug is able to punish this aggression.
Yeah, all OMG really has to do in this bot lane is hold out until that cavalry will hit its ultimate level and be able to take off. I don't know. Uzi, I feel like is going to be dependent on Zero to kind of rein him in a little bit and make sure that he stays safe. But left to his own devices, that may or may not happen. So it's kind of a toss-up for StarHorn's bot side.
Looked really good on the Tristana game, save for a couple of aggressive rocket jumps. See how he fares
still
with
got
this
kills
Hogma.
out of it. And actually,
this is the lowest mobility champion that we've seen from him for this series.
Also worth noting, Son is actually keeping up much better in farm this game than he has in the past. Even when the lane swap went down, he was still having trouble.
Definitely. See if this continues. Junglers have completed their full rotation. Both have their buffs. Just continuing to farm it out. Although, actually, looks like Insect coming through the back here, looking to help out Cola.
Yep.
Which very rare. He typically doesn't gank the top lane.
Well, different strategies mean different follow-ups. Go and finding out the hard way right now as he tries to move through the minion line in a Conga, but that is going to force his flash away. No first blood just yet. It'll take more than that. But still, a danger and a summoner burned.
He's trying to walk around the Sonic Wave, trying to get Insect to proc that on a creep. Unfortunately, walking around in auto attack range, so didn't help him there. Insect gets the flash for his trouble.
He's got the flash, though. He should be able to sustain this up pretty well.
Yeah, but he effectively loses a ton of lane pressure right there, and Aurelia, Jax, very snowball-dependent champions. Aurelia probably a little bit more. So.
Yeah, but it is going. I'm sure left to his own devices, that's going to start becoming a little bit more of a problem in just a few moments. We'll see if Insect does favor that a little bit more this time. And now, meanwhile, in the bot, Son and Dada actually pushing up a little bit harder now. As the farm dead even here, they're showing a little bit more aggression as Uzi and Zero back off.
And we should see a little bit of a dynamic change of the lane when Son has the ultimate available, though, again, pressure created bottom, Insect coming back to the...
They know he's here, though. Like, they have a nice ward in that jungle to see that. And actually, the warding from OMG this game has actually been a lot better. If you look at that bot side around the dragon, around the jungle of StarHorn, it's been where it needs to be. But Dada, he gets the play back in time, but is it too late? I don't know about this one. He's taken pretty low. There's a hookup. He's going down. That's first blood. Going over to Uzi.
And unfortunately, you were just talking about, the vision was there. They knew that Insect was in the area, and just one false mistake, and StarHorn Royal Club go hard and pick up a free kill right there.
Yeah,
Detriment.
And what's so sad is they knew exactly what was going to happen, and they didn't immediately back away. They played the game and they lost.
And the worst part of all of that is that Uzi picked up the kill, so the gold stayed in the lane as opposed to leaving and going back into the jungle.
And then he, of course, is able to pick up a lot more farm uncontested because Son is not going to be able to go toe-to-toe with that without his support. Drug tried to create counter pressure up in the top, but he got spotted out by a ward, and Cola was perfectly okay, just moving right back to his tower.
He's also pre-level 6, so not much he can find, although both junglers in the same area.
Yeah, but Insect doesn't know that Drug is here, and here we go. The dive in, going is on the wrong side of the tower. Insect, though, he's pretty low. Oh, wow, that, again, we've said it before, that could have been worse for both teams.
I'm glad that OMG backed off right there, recognizing that they didn't have a lot of resources. Drug very low on mana right there. Chose not to make that tower dive happen. Again, tower diving the mobility of Lee Sin, the execution potential of Lee Sin, as well as the counter strike from Jax. That would be a little bit slippery to lock those champions down.
Yeah, quite the difficult task if they want to try and do it. And it seems like, again, both these teams are kind of resetting the whole series and just going back to feeling each other out. I think OMG has shown its versatility. It's just that they have not been able to make the execution that they've wanted to until now. Really, this is a much better start from them, in all honesty. Like, we can criticize them a lot for the failed attempts, but they've given up 1 death in 8 minutes and no serious objectives. They've been warding a lot better. I mean, this is definitely improvement.
Well, prioritizing, making sure that they know where Insec is and trying to control his impact on the game. But Paranoia is available. Drug went and bot. See if he's going to try to find and burn his ultimate coming back into this this lane here. Looking for Dada. Will he find this death sentence?
Well, he goes forward for it, and they might try to find the pick. He gets it. Oh, splits the uprights. That's too bad.
It's good.
It's good for no points.
And with that, Drug eases back into the jungle. Never to be heard of again.
Until Paranoia.
Until Paranoia.
We'll
Could look for a counterplay on the aggression because we do see Insec actually swinging to the back of this lane again. See if Drug is going to be aware or if the teams are going to fill this one out.
Insec lane gank incoming. Blindness is no impairment when you're in a bush.
I feel like that was a little bit telegraphed from Zero, though, stepping into the push like that.
That might have given them... I mean, Son and Dada are probably going to play safe regardless, but the fact that... it's hard to call, really. Oh, another missed hook from Dada. They're not going to go in on that. Actually, it's probably a good thing he missed it, though, because Insec is, you know, one safeguard away from making that lane a nightmare.
They knew, because Drug started to move down towards the bottom of the lane, and now it's just a communication. Like, it's fine, we're just going to let him stand here, and look at how far back they're playing. I'm not even going to play with that, although now, after he took his Wraith Camp, starting to mosey back down here. Okay, now looking for the punish.
Drug could make this happen. And in fact, both junglers have actually kind of not been as big impacting the lanes. They've been really just trying to create map pressure by moving around and forcing a response out of the enemy team. And it actually has been working really well both sides. Again, this game is probably one of the most even we've had tonight. It is still very early, though.
Definitely. I feel like we're just one mistake away from watching things explode.
Oh, yeah,
Insec again trying different angles, just trying to get into this bot lane.
They got the try warded. That's a nice pink there. Now, they do need to clear that one out, so they will be able to. Oh, Drug looking for a bait. You gotta wonder if he doesn't, like, actually maybe deliberately tank the Sonic Wave just to see if he goes in on it.
I dare you.
I dare you. I can fight. I mean, Son's probably not the one who should tank that, in all honesty.
See how the lane shifts and how Son will be able to deal with this now that he has his ultimate available. Again, very scary. You're also dealing with the crescendo. Their wards have expired in the jungle, so...
Yeah, no vision anymore. Also, the mid lanes have been strangely quiet this entire time. I mean, yeah, it's a Ziggs Orianna. It's going to be a hard lane to actually pick a kill off and get a straight outplay. However, there is a slight lead farm-wise for Corrin. I mean, it's almost meaningless just because that's going to be just such a farm-centric lane for a long, long, long time.
There's a back advantage for Cool. He actually has the completed Thirsty Cup, the Fiends,
that's true.
Versus the
and
Chalice,
he's got boots too.
Yeah, Corrin has the gold, he just hasn't made his way back there, so... See if they'll pressure that. We do actually see going moseying down here. Okay, no, he's gonna go back.
Yeah. What do you think? The way the meta's gone, and the way this game, especially this set, has been going, do you think the first dragon is really that first opportunity, or do they wait for the bot towers to be cleared out?
It's going to be the dragon. I feel like StarHorn Rail Club because they backed. Look at their ward inventory right now. How many pinks they're sitting on, how many greens they picked up. So obviously they're prepping for this.
OMG is also, but definitely to a lesser extent. They've invested much less in this, and as we say it, there's the clearing of the wards. Oh, Zero get caught on a line, and they're going to take the advantage for this one. Paranoia comes in. That is the crescendo disengage from Zero, but they will get a minor numbers advantage for just a moment. It's a very slight moment as Insec moves around looking for a flank. Meanwhile, Korn is there. Zero able to heal it up in a flash.
What's very important to note here is the trading the particular ultimates that they did, the Crescendo versus the Paranoia, especially as we possibly look to stacking in here for a dragon fight. I feel like the Crescendo is much more valuable should this this fight take place in the river.
Yeah, or maybe it'll take place in the bot lane. Uzi dangerously low, and he finally goes down, but it's Dada picking up the kill. Dada is low, however, but he's able to flash away. Actually, a nice move by OMG.
And of course, this is recognizing,
Mega Inferno dodge! There we go.
Oh.
Dada wipes some sweat off his brow. Actually, very nice play by him. And we don't normally say that.
Oh, rude. No, it was a good recognition of saying the Crescendo's down, we have two ultimates. Of course, you had Insec on the back right there, but unfortunately too little too late. And meanwhile, in the top lane, since Insec's
Korn's in
been
trouble.
so
There's a big ball landing on him, but he is going to be able to jump away. With the satchel charge, Insec going to make a fight of it as well. Gets a kickback on, and that is going to be once again cool zoned away. Drug as well. He could go down here. One auto attack, one sonic wave, but the command protect. Insec goes in anyways. He doesn't need it. Meanwhile, going coming around the back and picking up Korn. So they make it a 1-for-1. Insec being chased around through the wrong jungle, and he finds Cool. Does he want to take a fight? He might. Man, that guy can just muzzle his way through anything.
going, sponsoring backpacks.
Get in, guys. Let's make this happen. So, another even trade.
Aboard.
OMG does have a slight gold lead, though. 1,000 up, all said and done. They do have a tower that's mostly what it's in, and that was in the top lane. Going, he really was able to clear everything he could, got the top, moved down to the mid, and picked himself up a kill for all his trouble.
And OMG knew that he could win this lane to give him the 1v1, and in fact the matter is again, Insect sacrificed he effectively sacrificed Cola to the going based gods to try to apply pressure. And OMG, like you said, with their deep warding, were able to kind of stall this out relatively well. So better place than they've been for a while. Still incredibly controlled game coming from both teams. Very cautious. And I'm actually really surprised that StarHorn is being so cautious because historically, when they're you think back to their Shaco game and when that came out, they were having a lot of fun. They had the momentum behind them, and they were able to pull out those crazy plays and just go crazy, go ham, go wild. And now it's
serious
really
business.
Focused.
It's very strange that, especially it's coming at a time when they're 2 games up. It almost seems like they just sort of decided to switch over into this mode of let's play it seriously. Also curious picks as well. They have much less mobile champions, although Zero should be able to help Uzi out with that. And Insec has been doing the best he can to maintain a lot of map control, but now it's OMG's turn to get this Dragon Vision game going. Insec looking to make something of it, but he is going to get zoned away by the threat of a Thresh Hook. This Dragon being started. 5 members of OMG, but there's a teleport in from Cola, and Insec could get the steal. They back off of it. He might just get the muscle steal. However, they're taking a fight. Dada's low. Cola, that's going to be the Dragon picked up by Insec, and nobody is down just yet. Dada going to fall. Korn is low. Shockwave, big ball coming in. That's a double kill for Orianna, and they're going to be able to get Uzi in the bag as well. And all the craziness nets 2 deaths for OMG, but they pick up 4, all said and done. They do lose the Dragon. I think they'll be okay with that trade as they look for the mid lane.
Again, a communication issue on the side of StarHorn Royal Club. They split their damage. You had Uzi attacking the Dragon, finishing that off. You had the rest of StarHorn trying to force OMG, engaging them, and OMG just finding the better cooldowns. A perfect crescendo from Zero that had effectively 0 follow-up on it. They grouped up. He got a 4-member crescendo with no burst damage on top. So
yeah, and the Shockwave came up massive for Cool. He got 2 kills off the back of it.
Line.
And yeah, as soon as that landed, Uzi almost got away. Let's take a look at the replay here. So this Dragon gets started up. Korn comes with the flank. It's perfect, and there you go. That is a brilliant crescendo. Then Cola comes in, but Insec is still fighting, and Uzi is like, what do I do? They take the Dragon, then Cola's down, then Korn is low, and he looks like he's going to get away, but the ball comes in, and they've separated, they've split. Uzi, he's got nowhere to go, and that is all she wrote.
And in the end, OMG is going to come out ahead because they traded the global objective of the Dragon for the tower and then picked up the 4 bonus kills on that, and likewise the mid-structural objective versus the river monster, giving them just a little bit more of that vision control and map presence.
Fun fact, River Monsters is one of my favorite TV shows to watch while I'm at the gym.
You watch that at the gym?
It's like, you know how some gyms have like 80 TVs and they all have channels on you can't change unless you ask the guy at the counter? It's like the one that's always on Animal Planet. I swear.
Like
and it's always like reruns too, but it's really good. Anyways.
I don't know if they make any new ones.
Yeah, I figured. I was starting to wonder after like the third rotation of it. Oh, speaking of
Speaking of
rotations.
new ones.
Oh, Insect is in trouble. Can Drug get enough damage, though? He might be checking into Corn. I think he might go down here. Son's going to flash for it, and that made him look like Uzi Eye as they get themselves a kill out of a missed position from Insect.
It initially started as a misposition from Dada getting caught out, but thankfully his team just faster to respond to collapse right there, so good call. See if they can make something happen here. They do have 3 members versus 2. Might get some damage on this tower, see if they'll try to muscle through it.
They might try. It's pretty low, and they're going to give this one up. Uzi Eye's not going to want to take that kind of fight. Those are some seriously disfavorable numbers.
But now it's where does OMG go from here? So Dragon is down. They have all of the first tier towers complete. It should be about now controlling and warding up StarHorn Royal Cup's jungle.
Well, they're on their
they're
way to it. They're going to clear it out.
ward.
Yeah, they should be able to take it down. Oh, let's sweep. Oh, there's a pink there. Okay.
Still valid.
Yeah, no, it still counts. Oh, and they leave one there as it gets popped down. Yeah, I think they definitely need to start controlling and pushing StarHorn back further and further now that they've gotten all the outer tier towers. StarHorn has been unable to answer this one, and OMG seem to have found a rhythm with their counter engagement, especially.
Finding the collapse, I would still say probably the superior team fighting team. Unfortunately, for OMG, StarHorn World Cup has just found, the necessary picks at the perfect time. See if OMG is able to utilize this paranoia. I feel like he's been sitting on that hot button for a little bit.
There's a lot of wombo combo ability if they go into the back line and get the ball off, but I feel like StarHorn is especially watching out for that, especially since they ran the same composition not too long ago. Going, continuing to apply pressure on the top side, and OMG's kind of resting on its laurels a little bit here. This might be a mistake.
Definitely. You think about kind of where their power spikes are. It's a Corki versus a Kog'Maw. We're effectively in 20-minute mark coming into the mid-game, so they should be looking to run on this power spike and to make plays. That said, Kog'Maw on the other side, same items across the board for both these 80 carries.
And Son actually has a CS lead, so he's got to be feeling pretty happy about all this. And there's the paranoia. They go in onto Zero, find him isolated. That crescendo's not going to do much of anything. Another kill over to Cool. Mispositioning from the support player of StarHorn. Now Cola is in a bit of trouble. Going to get his ward hop on, but he's running back to the wrong base. And he will try to back. But will Dada 7? Yep, he sees him. And he's got the hook on the line. Going. This could be all for him. However, Dada, oh man, Dada, run as fast as you can. Going will be able to duel this one out. But that was very nearly a mistake. And meanwhile, the mid push is going to get stopped as well. So OMG continuing to find picks in good places.
I feel like they committed a little bit too hard for that. They knew that Cola was behind enemy lines, that he would have to back. There wasn't anything that he could do right there. They could have transitioned their initial pick into some top lane pressure and taking that second tier top tower. Instead, they fell back and they lost damage. Well, they lost the red buff. They lost damage on their mid tower.
They're looking for kills, though. It's weird. They're playing like StarHorn, and StarHorn's playing like OMG. Oh, Insect. He's going to be able to get away. There's a nice ward down, safeguarding. And he runs through the turret line.
Though.
Yep.
Just going to walk it out.
One big one. It wouldn't have finished him, but that would have severely crippled him there. And now Uzi Eye and Zero chasing Cool and Drug out of their own jungle with Cola in tow. Yeah, OMG definitely needs to find something with their position that they found themselves in, and they're just kind of hunting for kills here. It is very strange. Dragon is up in 5 seconds, and they should be able to take that without too much trouble. But yeah, they've got to start applying pressure on towers sooner or later.
It makes a little bit more sense for their aggression and their chasing in this aspect, just because trying to control that dragon, they should go over uncontested. But you're absolutely right. They need to start transitioning these picks and these kills into objective leads, because the late game, not necessarily on their favor.
Yeah, it's a little bit shaky. I mean, Going could still be pretty big, but you're going to be dealing with a Ziggs late game, a Kog'Maw, a Jax. I mean, that's not something you want to have at 40, 50 minutes in, and these games have all gone to that length so far.
fact, UZI and Zero were in a bit of a sticky situation for a second there. They did manage to just walk out of it, but that could have been bad. They actually waited until the minions had pressed forward and gave like full vision too.
So StarHorn is kind of playing this out like their opponents have Baron. It's like one of those situations where, oh, let's apply map pressure all around, give them a run around. Nakola finding a split push tower, but he might go down for it. Oh, it's still not dead just yet, but it will be in a moment. That is a lot of spent just to take down the Jax, but they do manage it, and the tower hangs on. Sliver of health. Might as well be down, but yeah, the stiff breeze will come in sooner or later.
But they find another pick, and the pings are going down from the mid lane, but unfortunately, StarHorn cannot get their players in position to do anything. So effectively, both teams just kind of floundering and trying to find direction in this game.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is they're not taking the fights, or maybe they're taking the picks. That's UZI, Paranoia down. He looks just like he's fancying his chances, but that could be the problem. Drug is low, but he flashes out tag team. And Son, oh man, he takes down Drug. Wow. Okay, Son really wants this kill here, but this gets more and more dangerous by the moment. Froskurinn, that looked like a terrible situation for StarHorn, and they answered it back. UZI, how about that guy?
The issue is Son Valkyried into the wall. And so he wasn't able to get the damage off soon enough, and that's why the kill on Drug pick up there. He had to effectively then walk around the wall to try laying down these auto attacks on UZI, and by that moment it was too late.
Well, a really well-timed crescendo from Zero, too. He has been absolutely instrumental in saving UZI's life on a number of occasions. OMG continuing their map pressure game. Despite that minor setback, they still very much control the pace of this game. But as time goes on, we'll start to see that shifting if they don't start taking objectives here. They've yet to crack an additional tower. That top one, it will finally go down. And yeah, they don't really have an answer to this mid-game stall tactic that StarHorn is pulling.
I don't know if it's a stall or either team is just aimlessly hunting each other down.
Whether or not it's intentional, StarHorn does have the better late game, as you've mentioned. And they will be able to contest objectives with a little bit more gold in their pockets as the game goes on. They can continue pushing waves like crazy. It's also, you know, you're dealing with the Ziggs, you're dealing with a Kog'Maw. That's great anti-siege, and I feel like OMG are not keen to make a 5-man push for that reason.
Well, they don't have the best siege options to that anti-siege. Of course, Orianna is going to be really good.
They have great dive, if anything.
They have good dive, but it's very scary to, again, dive a Jax to dive a Sona.
Yeah. LMG is a little bit more risk-adverse, we have seen. They will try to muscle their way through for a tower here, but there's not much of a minion wave just yet. Son going far forward, taking a tower shot as the siege commences now, but again, this is dangerous. Insec is actually very low here. The living artillery is coming out to zone them away, but they've actually gotten a lot of tower damage on this, and it's a 4-1 split push. They're going to force the attention with Go going in the mid. This is actually a really nice move from OMG. And they send 3 members to deal with him.
With so many resources committed, though.
Oh, but Drug might be in trouble here. He's going to get the kickback. Insec will do the namesake, and that is going to be one pick off onto Drug, and they get all locked up. Kola trying to go onto Cool, but he might have gone a little too far forward. Should go down here, gets the leap off, but he's burning, and that's Son flashing forward for the kill. Mega Inferno Bomb coming up big. That could be dangerous. Oh my goodness, everybody's getting blown up right now, and it looks like it's going to be an OMG ace? Wow.
What turned out is almost a huge mechanical misstep from OMG. Instead of prioritizing the objective, they get initially caught up in the jungle, completely swung in the way of their victory by a massive shockwave from Cool. Again, feeding into that choke point, finding the important shockwave. You can miss every single one, but if you just hit the important one, and it saves OMG's
yeah, and they're going to get so much out of this, too. Inhibitor tower being minion fired on. Also, go back to Cool for a second. This guy has been incredible.
Look at the shockwave.
Oh, yeah. So Drug,
okay, so
he gets caught out. I mean, plain and simple.
He shouldn't even be there.
Yeah. No, he goes down. That actually got picked up by Zero, but then, yeah, the Mega Inferno Bomb comes in. Okay, sure, that's fine. Whatever. But that's going to be a massive shockwave that results in that big ace.
Oh,
meanwhile, the Baron is happening. We'll talk about this replay in just a moment, because that, as brilliant as that was, Baron finally going down, and it goes in favor of Drug. Kola, though, tried to make a steal of it. Not going to happen this time. And they also come up with Insec as well. So big ups once again for OMG. They've got a pretty massive lead in their favor. Talk about Cool. This guy has got 7 kills, 0 deaths, 9 assists. 16 out of 17 kill participation. That is phenomenal.
And effectively, it was that one shockwave that really turned the page for OMG and allowed them to get their footing back into this. Again, we were being very critical of OMG and the fact that, you know, they kept chasing for these kills and they kept finding these meaningless picks in the aspect of creating pressure and helping build a win condition for them late game. But finally, they found the one. They take 2 towers with it and they swing it into a Baron. So OMG now in the driver's seat. But will they stall out or will they continue with this this pressure-oriented game?
Well, OMG, if they don't take the incentive to make a push with the lead they have now, I don't know when they'll do it. At this point, they're so far ahead, and they have the items to prove it. They're going to be able to muscle themselves through a dragon as well. There is the outer turret line, still uncracked. They have to focus their energies and take a fight, force StarHorn to respond, but they have been historically risk-adverse here. And I think they continue split pushing. I don't know if this is the right decision or not, but it looks like it's what they're doing for now.
I think they're just clearing pressure points on the map, getting all of their waves pushed past river. You see Go going on the top. The ping went down for the second tier top tower. Of course, it's the easiest objective to take on the map. Cracking that inhibitor line will be somewhat of a challenge in itself. But yeah, here we go. OMG now rotating up underneath Go going, has the wave waiting for them. This should be easy pickings. StarHorn Royal Cup has to be very careful. If they die here, it's going to not just mean that one tower, but possibly an inhib. At least an inhib tower.
Yeah, now they have Insect backing. In fact, they might just back away and yield this over. OMG's not interested in it, though. They want to take out the mid. This is a huge power move as they go forward with it. They're zoning away everybody. Mega Inferno Bomb coming in. That might have just saved an inhib tower. Yeah. We talk about Ziggs having to wait or having to decide if he wants to take that 120 seconds now or later, and that was a good choice. But they get to move back up to the top. They can just move around wherever they want and throw their weight into an objective control, and they grab the last outer turret standing on StarHorn Royal Club's side. OMG firmly in control of this game.
That Mega Inferno Bomb, though, cannot...
I mean, that was big. That was definitely
understate.
Big.
Yes, Corrin came up huge right there.
But he won't have that for a fight.
See if they can get the siege going.
If they can burn a couple more ults and possibly some summoners, they might even be confident enough to go for a dive. But right now, that's not the case. Now, it might be for Go going. He gets kicked back in by Insect. Go going in trouble, but he's tanking out quite a lot. Insect's going low. Perfect crescendo, but it's not enough. Drug getting the kill onto Insect. Meanwhile, they take out Uzi as well. Cola fallen. Everybody is dropping. Dada and Drug are out, but they've got themselves a one-man advantage. And Son, well, he comes up with a kill himself. The siege is halted, but OMG taking the better fight for now.
And the patience from Zero to hold the crescendo. Any other player, if they saw Go going locked up in the tower, they would have immediately burned the CC to try to pick off the Aurelia. But, you know, understanding Aurelia, tankiest member, has the passive that she does, finds the 4-person crescendo, unfortunately will not save StarHorn and might not save their tower.
Yeah, it's going down pretty quickly, even as they juggle the aggro from it to try and avoid a little bit extra damage they don't want to take. That's going to be inhibitor number 1 going down for OMG, and they get out of town. Shockwave coming in, Zero, oh my goodness, he's going low, but they don't take him out. Meanwhile, a minion grabs that bot tower on StarHorn Royal Club, so I guess it's a consolation prize, but OMG coming up pretty big, very close to making massive game-ending moves, but StarHorn hanging on.
This Orianna right now, huge. The Baron is up, so did manage to crack the inhibitor line. Big bonus for OMG. See if they can keep it up.
Oh, Insect. No, don't do that. That's Son taking himself another kill. Insect seems to be making a whole load of mistakes in the last 10 minutes alone.
Well, you said it yourself at the very beginning of the game. The wording and the mentality of how to deal with this jungle has completely changed of OMG. Right now, look at all the pinks and all of the deep wards. They're able to keep tabs on this guy and punish him for every time he steps out of line.
Yeah, it has been a massive turnaround from previous games. OMG, it just seems to be finding a little bit more rhythm here. Really, really well played by them. And also, that man in the middle, Cool, has been coming up so huge every single time.
The damage, not even from the shockwave, if he just hits a nice dissonance, is devastating to teams. We do see them now creating another pressure point in this bottom side of the map. Baron is on the 2-minute marker.
They will, however, have an ability to push in on this one. Again, it's still scary to siege against this team, especially with the massive amount of wave clear that they have. Also, grouping up is dangerous because we've seen Zero is more than able to hit those 5-man crescendos. But it seems like OMG has this one in their pocket as far as the siege is concerned. They are able to put a little bit of damage out without taking anything in return, and they will continue to pressure as much as they can. Meanwhile, StarHorn World Club has to watch their middle as well. Again, they have the split push going. This time it's Drug providing the auxiliary pressure.
And of course, Drug being able to push over there because he has the paranoia, so he can just easily get involved in the fight should something happen in the bottom lane. So very smart right there to utilize that ultimate.
I think it was pretty intelligent for going to do the same, just because Blade Surge can help close a lot of gaps as well. But nonetheless, there are so many potent weapons for forcing a fight on OMG's side now, especially with the lead that they have. It's massive economically, but OMG not willing to give an inch. They are playing this out as safely as they possibly can while continuing the push-up. Drug, however, he's just freely floating through the base, and it seems like this is a matter of time before inhibitor number 2 falls. A lot of poke being dealt with the big ones now by San, who has honestly played a much better game than we've seen out of him almost any time in the season. Shockwave coming in. Oh, man, narrowly avoided by Zero. This continues, but that's a summoner down. Or, excuse me, an ultimate.
A very important ultimate that was trying to zone StarHorn World Club off of their tower to allow them to make more siege. We'll see if StarHorn will take advantage of this. Yeah, okay. So OMG making the call to back up, knowing that StarHorn's coming in refreshed. Can't afford to die here. So the issue is...
Well, the Baron's in 7 seconds.
Exactly. They wanted to be incredibly cautious right there because if things didn't go perfectly, the inhibitor, the mid inhibitor from StarHorn World Club is very close to coming back up, and a counter Baron to an inhib coming back up would effectively just swing the power right back in StarHorn's favor.
Oh, they're going to bait this out. However, this is seen. They know it's just Drug in the pit. I don't think they're going to fall for that one.
There are warning pings going down, so StarHorn has an inkling.
They burn it a little bit early, OMG. They will be able to back off that one. But, yeah, it would have been a really nice bait had it not been kind of obvious when they were clearing the wards off the backside that that was going down. And StarHorn wisely decides not to check that, so reevaluating their position just a little bit.
OMG taking this moment to buy, see if they stagger their backs correctly, though. The big AoE in the mid laner, okay, yeah, so going stayed behind.
Yeah, that was actually really nice. I think it was, if it had been discovered exactly what they were doing, it would have been trouble, but they leave going, and StarHorn is very hesitant to check into that.
Very important, though, StarHorn World Club's inhibitor is back up, so sigh of relief right there. Big contention is going to be this Baron.
Oh, yeah. And this is getting to the stage of the game where making mistakes is less and less tolerated. The death timers get higher. Now, this Baron is being started 2-man by Drug and Cool. And they have to know this is happening, but it's going down so very quickly. Dada is providing perfect zone. Paranoia, keep him in the dark right now. And good night, sweet Baron. They get that one for free. Going looking to make a fight of it.
Look at the itemization from Cool. He has the Spectral Wraith. He effectively pulled a Wayless right there, and that's why they were able to 2-man that Baron so effectively. Orianna blue buff is going to take it down incredibly fast, but you have 2 jungle items working for you now.
Oh, Insect's in trouble. Goodbye. They take a Shockwave, and he takes it to the back. That's going to be the inhibitor falling all over again. This is a 5v4. OMG has Baron. Looks like they're going to force the issue and move themselves up towards the top. Just tanking out the tower shots. Going is perfectly okay with that. Mega Inferno Bomb going to come down. They're going to rethink their priorities just a little bit until they get the regen.
Have the Baron working for them. Like you said, it's just a slow war of attrition right now. We'll have that health regen.
Well, and they've really been forcing Korn to spend those ultimates the way that they want, as opposed to the way they want to take a fight, and that's a tower down. Wow, that is going to be a big play for Dada 7. Cole is in trouble. Uzi as well. He's getting turned around. That is going to be Dada coming up with a kill, and they are able to take themselves another inhibitor off the back of this Froskurinn. This might be game in just a moment. It is still a 5v4. It is still anyone's fight, but I don't know. StarHorn is very hesitant to try and take anything. Insect going in for the kick. He gets flayed back. That's going to be a very low health Lee Sin. And they're just looking to secure up victory. OMG now moving their sights onto this bot side. And maybe back to the Nexus right now. Actually, yeah, they can just push this one out. So low are these towers. Cola trying to make something happen, but Tower 1 falls, Tower 2 soon to go. They don't use the Paranoia to do anything but deny a little bit more vision. That is the last Nexus turret, and it looks like OMG might have bought themselves at least a game number 4 if they can take out the Nexus. They have to be so very careful against this team. However, it looks like they might have done it in 37.5 minutes. That Nexus is going down.
And OMG pretty much on the brink of destruction right now, come back in the very last game. So like you said, buy themselves a game 4. We could see this possibly go to game 5. That will be a blind pick. And so far, Orianna, the champion of the day, expect that to be contested throughout the rest of this series.
Yeah, that has to be. Also, we talked about it. Dada has not had much success outside of Thresh. Well, you can see night and day the performance difference. Yes, he still got caught out a few times, but man, were those hooks really the change in team fights.
I think also a very large shift from OMG's previous games was the wording, keeping track of Insec, recognizing what he was going to be doing for StarHorn World Cup. The fact that he prioritized his bottom, so they took full control, got those deep wards initially on the bottom, so they could keep track of him and keep, you know, the weaker part of OMG, San and Dada safe.
Also note that San ended that game on a really high note. I mean, everyone from OMG seemed to step up, but really getting San involved was the key to that success there, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they contest a Thresh pick as well as the Orianna, but yeah, we'll have to see going into game number 4. OMG hanging on as the result now sits at 2-1 in favor of StarHorn World Club. Guys, we'll be going to a quick break. When we return, we'll be seeing more action between StarHorn and OMG. You are watching the LPL playoffs in English here on Twitch TV.
在这个团之前呢，皇族都还有机会，对，还有机会撑住，但这一波被骗的有点惨，我觉得。
演就是爱演，
这个闪现过去拍地，然后想要把他踢过墙，但是耀导也是往下移，知道你想要踢我过墙，这个时候终于被踢过墙的时候，开启了大招，让其他人没有办法顺利的杀死他，最后是。 秦女先交了大招，这是首先第一个问题。然后贾克斯跳出去之后呢，因为地方太窄，垂直又放下大招的关系，所以皇族剩下队员完全没有办法支援，你就看到扣拉孤立无援，真的是孤立无援。对。然后这里是大哥冲刺过墙以后，扮演到一个非常强的诱饵的角色，终于，哎，这个大招真的是看不见，无状态蹲了大概30分钟，就为了这个打。 这大下去以后，皇族已经没救。
这个地形非常的好，
这是最适合发条的一个地形。
对，
然后而且无状态扣了很久，
对，一直在等待这个机会。
在等那个机会。
皇族实在不应该那个窄地形打，他们的队友，他们队伍里面没有团控，团控只有一个贾克斯。
对，完全被打散。
然后贾克斯已经跳到里面去死。
还有那个秦女的清大招期间用掉了，
太提醒了呢。他为了要把那个没有打死的人收头，
对，没有办法，
那个大招用的不好。我说实在话，就是 Zero 这场实验秦女来讲，现场压制力很够，看起来很够。但是在打团的时候，我觉得他大招出的比较很果断，但是同时
set of games, and I don't think that will be the first gangplank. There we go. There's the going lock in for Aurelia.
Still kind of rolling the dice for this Jarvan. Come on, Jarvan. Wanting to see the enemy jungler pick. I think he learned that I can't pick a weak jungler if Insect's going to invade me.
Ah, Corn on Ziggs. Now this could be interesting. That is something else that he has gone back to. Time and time again.
Very much Orianna-esque. Everything that Ziggs is going to offer to a team fight gives a little bit more semi-global presence, a little bit more wave control. Obviously trades that off for the team fight power of the Shockwave, but you know, Ziggs still very strong team fight in his own regard.
Well, they've spent so much trying to ban him out too. I mean, the Yasuo and Fizz are directly targeted at him now. Wow, we're going to see the reversal of Nocturne. Drug says, hey, I can play that too. And we see the OMG lineup taking form here. This is interesting.
See what Insec picks across from the Nocturne.
Keeping my fingers crossed for Shaco. Aw, yeah, we are ready. We are getting ready to come back for game number 3, OMG versus StarHorn Royal Club. Guys, watching the LPL playoffs, is OMG struggling in their current state to manage much of anything against the surging StarHorn. Froskurinn What do they need to do to avoid being 3-0'd here?
I feel like we're going to see the Jarvan pickup come out from Drug. I don't think he's going to continue along this path with the current junglers, because I feel like a lot of the issue is definitely the bot lane, but also lackluster jungle presence from him. See if they can turn that around. That's my predictions, but I feel like the stars are aligning for LGD to attend Worlds.
The hope is not dead yet, and we will have to see this next game. Uzii rightly picking up the MVP on that Tristana. Most definitely had a massive impact that game. But how about Insect's Nocturne?
You know, for seeing the Nocturne, I definitely think that rightfully so the MVP was Tristana and Korn's Orianna, but you know, Insect was there, Nocturne was there.
He made things happen.
Things happen.
Although when he tried to make things happen to going, he kind of ran scared the other direction. Like this is a guy that even in defeat can incite quite a lot of fear in the enemy team.
And unfortunately, that's kind of been Going's MO. I feel like as far as the one strongest point for OMG going for them has been their top laner. I didn't even mean.
Oh, you know, sometimes they just slip out like that.
Sometimes they just slip away like playoff dreams.
Oh
that
god,
said,
oh man, that was a low blow.
If OMG fall here, so if StarHorn finds the 3-0, it is a double elimination tournament. So OMG would just fall down into the losers bracket. LGD has already been placed there by EDG. So there is still hope if they don't find their footing here.
Yeah, and I would find it hard to argue that OMG would still be unfavored against the likes of LGD, but yeah, that's not where you want to be though. You have to fight your way back through the gauntlet of anyone who does drop down, and then of course when you do finally make it to the finals, it's a one-game disadvantage. But we'll see if they can keep their hopes alive in the winner's bracket. OMG this time on the blue side, banning away the Yasuo, immediately answered up by Lulu. Same picks and bans we've seen all series.
See if they continue to focus at this mid laner, because they haven't found a lot of success there, or maybe prioritizing first picking that Orianna. Of course, Korn back-to-back on the Orianna picks, coming up huge, showing his mastery of that champion. It's, you know, if we keep taking Yasuo, Fizz, these mid picks away, and this guy is continuing to skyrocket, maybe they'll switch up their strategy.
Yeah, the Fizz is definitely a respect ban to Korn, but it has been difficult to deal with him on just about anything. I think they might want to try and focus on picking up the Orianna away from the StarHorn side this time, as they really heavily weigh the impact of their last ban.
I agree with that. I definitely think that we'll see this removed or picked away.
We will ban the Fizz again. Still scared.
Insec. I'm looking at Uzii talking Zero. Reflecting, leaning back.
Ah, there we go. So yeah, we had to expect this. It's not an option when it's been so huge in every single fight. Now they do miss out a few things. To be honest, I don't know if it really matters what you put data on, so the Thresh priority may not be there, although StarHorn might want to get themselves a bit of Kog'Maw action.
Now, of course, Kog'Maw coming in is a flex pick. Korn could take that mid, or we could see Uzii on it.
And they do once again. Prioritize the support. Braum is available, and they're really having a hard time deciding which one they want. I think it will be the Braum. Ah, that's an interesting choice. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Last minute swap over to Sona. Okay.
Only one other Sona so far in LPL, and it was PYL Sona.
And that's like his old main, too.
Big Sona player, so very excited to see what Zero can do with this champion.
I don't believe he's played it, at all in a long time.
It's the only Sona to show up so far has been PYL.
In this particular